been a couple days since I've played because schoolwork mode was a bit much, but let's just try and back to what we were doing. Actually, let me check what. I'll probably just start with the 1v5 practice. Maybe I should just put a state there, honestly. Hello. Hello again. I was all over the place. That's chill, honestly. For real for that. I could have gone more sketchy, but fine. Alright. Not even 10 minutes in and already proving that I still got it on Robot Masters. That's a good sign. Not even 10 minutes in and already got a Wily 5 hit load. Good sign. Good sign. I think that was like second try and first try I died to the like transition room in between Stone and Tornado. I'll play Wily 6, like, regardless of what happens, just because the practice is going to be beneficial. Good debates. I do still kind of wish there was something safer than the base there. I don't think I would be, like, too mad about that, like, first Wily 6 entry if I died there. But, like, if I died there after having, like, a Wily, like, if after having a Phase 3 entry, I would probably be really frustrated with myself. I think this is only, like, my second time stringing 5 into 6. is probably a sign that, like a sign of something to improve for next grind. Get more used to doing refights to end. That's just like a note to self. Spotify RG loves this album for some reason. Oh, I just jumped like a bit too early. Good, like, first thing to do this session, I think I'm gonna pivot to... I think that, like, affirms to me that I'm, like, still really fucking good at this, so I'm just gonna pivot to, why they put, like, trying to get to end. I was kind of getting attached to that Wily 5 to end, because I was thinking, like, what if I get a hybrid zero death, or like a hybrid zero hit of Full Fortress? I gotta figure out why I do that. It's not... It's just like a weird, like, wires crossing thing, I think. Alright. Like, that's what I should be doing every time. And it almost feels like harder to do the mistake I'm making. In the big 2026? Girl, I was streaming in the big 2026. I took like a week off. Lock in. I didn't even want to take a week off. It was just like mega nightmare to like. This would have been like completely hellish to like stream while doing like the workload I had last week. Alright, see ya. Actually, good luck. Will do. Like, what? Why am I so much worse at Rounder, like, when I'm doing it from somewhere? Like, why does it always take, like, a couple in-session, like, Rounder attempts to actually not suck at it? Rather than just, like, playing it in isolation to get the shakes out. If it was just that, I would be fine, but, like, there's always gotta be, like, a guinea pig attempt or two before I just, like, never fail it ever for the rest of the session. What's the deal with that? Yeah, like a frame early on that jump input or something? That's what it felt like. For what it's worth, I almost had like another break day today, but then I just like actually got myself to lock in. I think the thing is it's weird because like when I'm not streaming, I'm like, I don't want to stop what I'm doing and open stream right now. But like when I'm actually streaming, I'm like, yeah, this is what I wanted to be doing the whole time. Okay. What were those noises I was trying to make? That's like not anything of any noises of significance in anything. Who did those noises benefit? They don't tell you this is the best song on the album. They don't tell you this is the best song on the album. I think I found this album from an Eternal pack, actually. And had everything went in a minute. And then I didn't listen to it in full for years. And like, that song is still probably top 3 on the album, but like... Fuck, that'll be the day, and this song are... How do they do it? I'll blame that attempt on me stimming too hard. That is literally the only reason I died there. Reason for uncleared. Song was too good. Too good. I might pivot to attempts from start at some point, because I'm kind of... It's just harder to lock in on endgame practice. I do want to at least make something happen for Full Fortress today. I think it's just hard to get good practice in Full Fortress because of the way, like, Fortress difficulty structure is in this game. Now that I have the strats for Rounder, it's kind of not really much happening until Wily 4? So your gameplay quality is going to be, like, not great because you're not super locked in until then. Maybe the play is just spam Y before the end, like as much as possible, actually. Actually, I think like optimally it's just spam Wily 5 to end. I think I might try to start every session with Wily 5 to, with like a decent Wily 5 to end attempt. That might... I think actually trying to just, like, clear it every single day might be a bit unrealistic an expectation. Just because it's, like, time-consuming relative to how much time I'm usually putting into a session. Like, almost clearing it in 10 minutes today was, like, a big deal, because that was, like, second attempt. And I'm probably gonna be streaming, like, somewhere around 2 hours. Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. So actually trying to, like, close one out every session feels bit overkill. But I think, like, making sure I have the potential to do it every session would be beneficial. I guess both of my Twilight 2 entries today were just to this, like, this stint of the song. Like, this play of it. Like, I did just die to stemming to this. To this stage, actually. A couple minutes ago. I guess that's how it works. It's still so funny to me that Mega Man 1 and 2 Water just actively slows down the entire game when you're in it. Mega Man 1, it doesn't even give you, like, high jump. It doesn't even give you, like, moon gravity or anything. It's just the game is slower due to factors. Like, not even, like, lag like you would expect. It's just outright lower game speed. Like, intentionally. You leave the water and it's, like, normal game speed. Down. Up. Yeah, it's just going up left. I've just been forced to hold the Purple Devil chart with awesome trend telegraph, and I'm like, what is he doing? And I just have to, like, figure out how I have to dodge on the spot. New situation I've been forced into. Actually, wait, this literally can't happen on PB anymore, because I fluked this stage. Your premise is fundamentally flawed. Or, like, fluke sounds more impressive than it is, because this is probably the easiest late game stage. But, like, I have just, like, never died to this stage in an attempt. So, like, it's fundamentally... One part of this premise is flawed, and the rest is, like... Who knows, maybe it'll just get bored and go up left. But, like, there's something here. There's something. Yep. Fuck. I thought I killed both of those spiders, and then I thought I was just gonna get hit by the bottom one, but I guess they just call me the movement. They just call me Movement Michael. That's just what they call me. They've always called me this. I've just never been able to, like, be public about it. Oregon fight, lock. Oregon has kind of been like comeback player of the year, so hopefully I can like fix the issues I've been having with it. That kill streak is one. I thought he was still going to be an iframe time. First Oregon run of the day. Nice. Face fight. Alright. Now I'm like properly locked. Jesus, my spacing there was horrible. Or not even spacing, I was just going forward for like no reason when I saw the telegraph. Oh. I'll practice space fight a bit. I've been kind of under practicing base a bit, I think, lately. Like, it's still a fight that needs a bit of practice, and I haven't been giving it what I need. I think I might start just like going for attempts, honestly, after I like sort this out. Like try and go for like a 3x or something. This might be my favorite fight of the game, honestly. It's like up there. I have a kind of like weird relationship with like final boss in this game, where it's the kind of thing where if you're like stringing it out of other stuff, it's like really like engaging just because of like what it is and, like, what you have to do it after. Like, it's just a very interesting fight to be the last fight of the game, but just, like, kind of, like, banging out practice on it. It's kind of just, what, you know? To be fair, that's probably just because there's not that many, like, great practice tools that would, like, account for the stuff you need to account for. Because you really want to be practicing at, like, phase 2 and phase 3, but if you just put a save state there, it's just going to be, like, the same RNG every time. So you kind of just have to, like, spam the entire fight. When there's, like, when the interesting part is really phase 3, and kind of one attack on phase 2? Bouncing is pretty interesting on phase 2, I would say, but the other attacks are just kind of there. I feel like sometimes I just, like, I think I might have, like, overcorrected on how hard I think Wily 4 is. Or not Wily 4, Wily 6 is. Like, I thought it was gonna be, like, insanely hard to, like, even get to, like, 5% consistency on it. But now that it's, like, not as hard as I built it up to be, I'm kind of just, like, it's not that bad, even though it is still at least a little bit that bad. I think after I 3x this, I'm just gonna do, like, full attempts for a bit. Like, it doesn't really feel like the mistakes that I'm making, like, late into this are, like, nerves mistakes, per se. It's just, like, a lot of weird situations that require, like, on your... It's either, like, weird situations or, like, just flat-out execution mistakes. Like, on, like, Porygon phase 2, or even on phase 1, like, Porygon or, like, base teleport attack mistakes. Two X. Side note, I need to listen to more clipping. This is the only, like, full album I heard from them. I think I would, like, fuck with them at least. It's not just, like, me saying that, because artists I am aware of but haven't listened to that much to, I do genuinely think I would, like their output a lot if I went into it, but I just haven't. I haven't been listening to, like, much of anything lately outside of, like, playlists and just, like, spamming re-listen to that one Number Girl live album. That's nothing kill. Honestly, if I choked that on 1 HP, I was considering just counting it as a 3x. I'll try and keep the streak going, just to see how far I can go. I'll stop at, like, 5x if I get there. Okay. Fair enough. I almost tried to swap save state folders as if you need save state folders to like go back to the start of the game instead of just like resetting. Yeah. I never updated the best today text, huh? I am very bad at updating my best today text. Like, very, very bad at it. They're calling me the worst, like, OBS text updater ever. I'm honestly really happy with my consistency on 8 Robo. Only this, like, far into doing attempts. Yup, it's runs time. Girl who does runs. I'm just kind of trying to, like, make sure that I can at least... I'm just kind of, like, trying to make sure that the consistency is still there on everything. Just, like, running through everything. And also, like I said, Full Fortress practice was kind of getting a bit mind-numbing because of just why they went to 3R. I think it's just the pacing of this game that kind of makes it like that. Like, just by virtue of being, like, a no-slide, no-charge shot, like, Buster-only run of a Mega Man game. It's just kind of, past a certain point, it's just kind of, like, slow and methodical, and you've just, like, gone through the motions enough times that it kind of gets a bit mind-numbing. Like, not to the point where it's not fun, but, like, just kind of, I hope I can, like, get something out of this, you know? Like, out of, like, playing 2 specifically in a full Fortress. And, like, so far today, from Fortress, I've gotten a, I got to the base fight, I 3x'd the base fight right after that. I second tried Wily 5 was, like, the first thing I did today, and then after doing that, I almost first tried final boss, like, I got a phase 3 entry. That just died to me, like, pressing jump a couple frames too late. So overall, I do feel like this has been a pretty decent Wily session. Enough where doing runs feels like a decent decision. Like, there are some sessions where I'm just doing runs because I want to be doing runs, and I know that that's not, like, the best course of action. I do think it's, like, one of the, like, better courses of action to take this session. Like, I don't want to get too caught up in Full Fortress, I don't think. I think I was starting to? I think I was starting to get a bit too caught up in it before the break. But now that I'm back, I can kind of just, like, take a step back and be like, I think Full Fortress is probably something that works better as, like, a back burner. Okay, those were weird bicycle cycles. I probably could have just gone, but I didn't feel well with it. Oh. Girl didn't press it. Girl backed it up anyway. I think a part of me just kind of wishes Wily 1 to 3 were more engaging when you're not playing them from the start of the game. It's like a big part of it. Because when you're there from the start, you're just locked by virtue of it being Wily, but just playing them as, like, that is the goal you're trying to do gets a bit mind-numbing. It's kind of just, like, early 7 and 90, I guess, is the closest point of comparison. Where it's just, like, cool in runs, cool when you're, like, going from the start, but as, like, a dedicated thing you're practicing, it's just kind of, like, can we get to the part that's actually engaging when you don't have nerves you know? I do wonder how many Wily attempts this is gonna take me. I feel like I'm not extremely far off from a Wily 5 entry. But, like, Wily 5 is, like, your first Wily 5 entry and winning are... Honestly, you could argue they're farther apart than in your first, like, Wily entry and Wily 5. Actually, they almost certainly are. Like, Wily 4 to end. I've said this a couple times. You can definitely argue that Wily 4 to end is easier than getting to Wily 4 from start. Yeah, that is in the running for hardest attack in the game. I've just gotten really consistent at it. It's a very, like, weird, hard to explain timing. I've tried coming up with, like, stuff that's less janky looking, but that's just the most consistent thing I found still. I was expecting it to be, like, the hardest Robot Master fight of the game at the start of this grind, but I just got really good at it, I guess, so it's not as big of an issue. Like, I don't know how that happened. Feels like it shouldn't have, but it just did. Good song. Honestly, I just think what I thought was going to be hard at the start of this grind and what has been giving me trouble lately have deviated a bit. But maybe that's just because I'm good at the stuff that's hard. And the stuff that's not, the stuff that I'm messing up on is just not as hard. I just haven't, like, optimized it as much. But I do think I did genuinely just underestimate some of the stuff in this grind that's been giving me trouble lately. Like, especially Plug Fight. Plug Fight has a lot of, like, weird situations it can give you. But at the start, I was, like, first day of me, like, going for this, I almost did the Plug Fight 5 times in a row. Like, I died at the end of attempt 5, I think. But, like, since then, it's just been, like, revealing itself to have a lot of weird shenanigans that can go down. I think there's just a lot of, like, weird stuff in this game that's, like, either more or less consistent than you would think it is. It's just kind of, like, a weird game to challenge run, like, full game run anyway. But it has been, like, an extremely fulfilling grind. I think this is probably my favorite, like, long-term game grind that I've done so far. I don't know if it's gonna, like, turn into fucking Nightmare Dimension, like at Wily 5 or Wily 6 entry, but I hope it doesn't, and I don't think it will. I'm starting to think that, like, this kind of just came to me now, but I'm starting to think that just, like, specifically, like, base fight to the end might be the most efficient way of, like, getting endgame practice. Like, just farming attempts where I have something of stake going into Wily 5, even if it's minor, and I have something of stake going into Wily 6, that might be the best way of just, like, making sure endgame isn't gonna completely nuke my everything. Like, I haven't thought about a grind this much, like this. Like, both the actual what I have to do in the game and trying to, like, play and, like, learn efficiently. I haven't thought about this much in any other grind, like, at all. Not even slightly close. I guess it's just realizing that this is, like, the start of my new main game, and, like, not the first time I'm pushing myself in Mega Man, but, like, the first time I am pushing myself with something on Mega Man that, like, no one else has given a chance. Because, like, a lot of people I've already no-hit Mega Man 1 before I got it. This, you have, like, 2 or 3 boss rush videos, and that's it. Like stitched together, like, fucking, like, Prozofia Gaming-esque stuff, but, like, for people who are actually, like, nasty at the game. It's like an interesting, weird feeling. I like it, though. But also, I hope that this isn't, like, the only feeling I ever get to associate with Mega Man and stuff. Like, I ramble about this a lot in my server, but I do... By the time I inevitably have to hang up my hat with this, I want there to be, like, a full-fledged community of other people going for shit like this. That's, like, way harder in other fan games or ROM hacks. Like, by the time I'm done... Like... Or not even, like, by the time I'm done, like... At some point, I want to not be the best player. I want someone else to get better than me. Because, like, not to be egotistical, but just kind of by default, I am, like, the best full-game ROM hack no-hitter, because I'm, like, the only one who's entertained the idea. But, like, I actively want that to not be the case in a couple of years' time. Like, including fan games, there's people who have no-hit it unlimited. Or, like, person singular who no-hit it unlimited. But on the ROM hack front, there's really nothing. And I just want to see that get pushed. I am literally the only of all time. The O-Oats. I just think it's a very, like, strange position to be in. Pushing something that you know has, like, the potential to get insanely hard, but no one has ever had the drive to get it to get it to its cap. And, like, wanting to get it to its cap, but also wanting other people to, like, finish what you started, essentially. It's just weird. Cool weird, though. Like, there's a chance that, like, there is a very, very good chance that if I never got the idea to go for this, it just, like, never happens ever. Because, like, no one else cares about this. Or, like, no one else has, like, the thought to go for it. I'm just kind of yapping about the stuff I always say on the fucking server. This is just like a my server, like, general channel ramble. Like, just given orally. low. I have received word of this incident. It's actually just memes. It is actual. I kinda just got the snake without even, like, paying that much attention to the run, huh? And none of these look normal at all? They're not. All these fights are very other. They're not as other as, like, the... They're not as, like, weird and outlandish as, like, the other hacks this guy has made, but, like, they are still strange. Fuck, I still need to re-listen to this album. It's been way too long. I heard Survival of the Fittest, like, just, like, playing on the radio while I was at, like, a hotel, like, restaurant a couple of years back. Like, it was, like, Penn State region, and, we were just sitting there, and I just heard the beat, and I was like, is that something off the Infamous? Am I going crazy? And it was just Survival of the Fittest playing there. I think a couple minutes before that, they might have played, like, something from KMD? I wasn't really paying attention, but I just heard the announcer guy say Zevlov X, and I felt like a sleeper agent activated within me. Like, what do you know about that guy? What do you know about him? I have actually heard, like, just, like, an actual, like, MF Doom song in public. Not even, like, all caps or Dooms there or anything. It was fucking Fancy Clown. And then after that, I think after that, at the same place, it was, like, Crazy World off, like, a year later? To be fair, that was at, like, a mall, like, 5-store. Which is kind of a hotspot for weird musical occurrences. To be fair, like, the store that I walked into that was playing Fancy Clown at some point, when I walked in that day, they were just playing GNX, like, front to back, because it had, like, just come out at that point. I think I walked in midway through Heart Part 6, and then right after that ended, I just heard the intro note of Fancy Clown, and my eyes just popped out, because I was like, what? What do you know about him? What do you know about him? What do you know about him? I don't know what was happening. I don't know, like, what's going on, like, the music selection at that 5-store, because, like, I think I walked in, like, another time, like, a couple months prior, maybe a year or so prior, and they just, like, had, like, a full-on, like, K-pop playlist going. And I was just like, what's going on with the employees here? They're not like that, but, like, this is kind of a crazy, like, workplace aux, like, variance, you know? They just let anything go on there. Which, honestly chill. Honestly chill. As long as the tunes are good, I don't really care what tunes they are. Or hell, even if they're just, like, different from what I hear in most stores. I swear, like, so many, like, public place, like, playlists just got, like, frozen in time in, like, 2017. And it's just been, like, the same shit for, like, a decade. Why am I still hearing Unsteady in the big 2026? What are we doing? He just said Nanashi. That's like a Strawberry Jam reference. 74. called 74 because Japanese, that's Nashi, and that means nameless. So that's your reference? True? True. Girl who Nana shoes. Japan's gotta be like undefeated top 1 country and with like puns, right? Or like Japanese more so like top 1 undefeated language for puns. They got so many homophones in that shit. It's crazy. I've said this before, but I feel like Japanese might have the highest like posting skill ceiling of any language just because of like how much mileage you can get out of being able to combine writing systems. Like, just like popping, like, it just seems like popping katakana, or like a strange kanji at the right time is like, plus 50 million. Am I making sense here? Because this is like a recurring thought I have. I mean, Japan is like the 2nd biggest user base for Twitter, so it makes sense. Like, they've probably gotten close to that skill ceiling. They love Twitter.com and have for years. It's one of those things where I feel like them, like, fucking with the idea of Twitter isn't that weird, but like, them fucking with the actual site just feels weirder. Like, it feels like the kind of thing where they would have their own, like, regional equivalent. It feels like they would have, like, a Nico Nico for Twitter. Yeah, the health bar chanting kind of goes crazy. Twitter equivalent of Nico Nico is, like, a funny concept. I like that my brain just came up with that idea. Okay, he's despawned. Yeah, that's the thing. I kind of like. Did I really shoot that early? Side note, that was like the world's chillest ring entry of all time. I was just like, literally the only time my heart rate went above wrestling was when I was like crashing out at the fact that I still have to hear unsteady. Other than that, I was at resting the whole time. Yup. This clip. That's what it does to say, but like... I think it's just a personal thing that I kind of like can't understand people who just limit themselves to like art from... that's like only natively in English. But that's definitely just like a personal thing, by virtue of my mindset being engaged with all of the shit worth engaging with at all, by like any means necessary. My last words are going to be, I wish I consumed more media. I'm like calling it now. I'm just like sitting there on my deathbed thinking, fuck, I never watched Kare Kano, and then my heart rate just fucking flatlines immediately after that pause. I needed to think of something that could reasonably slip through the cracks for like my entire life. Because realistically, it's gonna either be some shit that I don't know about or some shit that hasn't come out yet. But Karekano, like, escaping me for, like, several decades seems plausible-ish. I should probably get water after this attack. It's always the fucking Pompeo derivative with you. This is all you are. That's almost like a more intriguing... That's almost a more intriguing thought than like, last words, per se. It's like, what is the last thing that you are, like, going to wish you have done here? I wonder for how many people it involves, like, never watching or reading something you always wanted to watch / read, but just have the time because there. I feel like that has to be, that's either like less than 10% or over 20% of people. Not affirmation trigger. I'm kind of just like, also I'm kind of just like sitting there in shock about how much I did not fucking care about that ring entry. I guess the break buff just kind of went like mega crazy. But like I've been playing for like about an hour, and I have a Wily 5, I got like right after that Wily 5, I almost did the Wily fight, but I pressed up a couple frames too late. Near the start of phase 3. I got Wily 1 to Wily 4. I did the base fight 3 times in a row, and then on my first attempt from start, not even including any like stone and deaths, I get to fucking ring while like not caring at all and literally being yapping about other shit the entire attempt. Not even like having the slightest semblance of nerves or like heart rate increase besides yelling about something entirely unrelated. I kind of like might just be in like Ultra Instinct right now. This is like final form Kako, potentially. This is post-paper Kako. This is post-18,000 a year scholarship Kako. Honestly, maybe it's like the scholarship-induced confidence increase. It might genuinely be that. This is like the fucking does estrogen make you play better line of reasoning. And like, to give credit, Romola credited. To give credit to that idea, Romola literally was like, "Oh yeah, part of the reason I won Evo for Exert in 2019 is because I got on HRT like 2 weeks before the tournament started, and I was just like so confident in myself that I just won Evo." That's still so unbelievably beast mode, even like 6 years later. To be fair, Exert was a side event at that Evo, it was a main stage game, but like, still, winning Evo for like even like pre-Strive Guilty Gear is still like fucking crazy. She doesn't even like play fighting games that way anymore. She just became like, I've heard people refer to her streams as like Jorma for people who could read numpad notation. Honestly, they're not. They're not far off. In like 2023, I was like a big Ramola head, but I haven't watched much as of late. I just don't watch many variety streams because I'm always like, but what if I want to play this game for myself? And then I never play any of the games they play. I do still think the idea of like +2, like, she did a stream where it was like, every time she got +2, her mic got like 2 decibels louder, and every time she got -2, it got 2 decibels quieter. And like almost instantly you could like hear her mic getting like quieter and quieter and quieter in real time until it was like inaudible within like 15 seconds of it being set up. I think she was playing Rain World at the time? I think she was playing Rain World. Yeah, it was a Rain World stream. I don't know why I said I think. I literally knew for a fact that she was playing Rain World that stream. A girl who hedges her bets on things she 100% is confident she knows. Me if hedging my bets was a job. Back-to-back blade. Also, someone reminded me to get water after this attempt. And my water bottle has been, like, not that... Oh, wait. For some reason, I thought my water bottle still wasn't that filled, but no, it's just actually filled. Water break. Now I'm thinking about the shit that I was talking about during, like, the last attempt. Like... I'm just gonna, like, run through the points. I'm, like, by default, kind of the best at this shit in the world, but, like... I want to be best in the world for a period, and then actively, like, give it up at some point. I actively want to, like, push the skill ceiling, and then have someone push it further than I pushed it. Maybe not even necessarily, like, further than I pushed it. I just want to see, like, other people pushing themselves in Mega Man full game anyway. Because there is so much potential for, like, crazy hard shit in this, and I want to see people reach that potential, but I kind of have to get the ball rolling on that, especially for anything that's not a vanilla game. Honestly, I wonder how long Mega Man 2 is gonna take me when I go for that, after this, like, vanilla. It is kind of crazy that I'm, like, going for a fucking, like, ROM hack buster only no-hit when I've only no-hit one Mega Man game and had, like, an 8 segment on another one, probably. That's always that's one of the scariest enemy types in the game. I'm surprised I backed that up, honestly. It's mainly scary because of shot limit. You can alleviate it by always trying to, like, do short hops so that you're, like, when he shoots a cannonball, you'll just automatically, like, get rid of it if you're, like, shooting at the point on the sprite where the cannon is. But, like, sometimes you can mess that timing up when the bullets are still on the screen, or you can, like, just mess the, it's actually getting them up, you know? I'm tripping over my words a bit, but... Like, you want to aim roughly there, but sometimes you just don't kill the ball. And then backing up that is very scary, because a lot of times when that happens, you are already at the screen's bullet limit. Like, the game could only have 3 Mega Buster bullets on the screen at the same time. So being at 3 shots is scary, because you need to wait for at least one of them to go off the screen or hit an enemy in order to be able to, like, do anything beyond just, like, move. And, like, this is vanilla Mega Man 2 movement, so your movement options are a lot scarcer. Actually, it's technically not vanilla Mega Man 2 movement because there's, like, some slight changes to how the game works. Like, being able to move up ladders and shoot at the same time, which I don't think any vanilla Mega Man game has ever let you do that. I'm pretty sure every vanilla Mega Man game, if you, like, are holding up and if you're holding up on a ladder and you try to shoot at the same time, you just, like, stay at the same spot on the ladder, and then when you're done shooting, you go back to climbing up. But here you can just actually climb up the ladder and shoot while moving upwards. Which, like, for a game that's naturally slower paced, like Mega Man 2 Buster only, that's actually a very, like, good thing to have. Cause, like, it gives you more agency on ladders. I don't think it matters that much for this game, because to level with you, the stages in this game are not that hard. Like, the stages of this game got completely nuked difficulty-wise from 1.0. Where they're, like, some of the hardest rollback stages ever. Like, it's very funny how much harder 1.0 is than 1.1, because this is a very, like, decent beginner hack. Especially if you're using the weapons, because the weapons are so powerful. 1.0 is in the running for, like, hardest, non-complete bullshit hack. Like, you need to be nasty at Mega Man in order to be Basic Master 1.0. This is, like, fairly brute forceable, especially with weapons. The difficulty comes from just, like, understanding the fights well enough to consistently be able to do them. Like, you could DPS race these even with Buster a lot of the time. Or maybe I'm just saying that because I'm good enough to be able to, like, completely just DPS race them, not even trying to dodge and still win, probably. High-low. High-low again. I haven't been getting that plug pattern so much today. Ah, that was weird to judge. That was weird. I thought I was gonna be able to, like, run over to the other side. But I wasn't. Dude. That's what I was talking about when I said Plug was, like, unexpectedly one of the hardest robot masters in the game. No meme, Plug might be the hardest robot master in the game for me right now. Like, actually, no meme, no meme. Which is fucking insane. It just feels like Plug, there's a lot of weird situations that are very difficult to account for. Back-to-back Plug entry is very good, though. Like, back to what I was saying, I do think a lot of, like, Mega Man hacks, honestly, have a bit of an issue with, how easy it is to DPS race stuff. Like, a lot of times it feels like even with... Well, sometimes even with Buster, I kind of feel like I'm resorting to DPS racing just because I don't feel like I need to fully understand the bosses, and, like, a lot of the times weaknesses make that worse, but, that's kind of why Buster only runs, like... That's why I'm doing a Buster only run of this. If I wasn't, I would be able to just completely, like, rip the game a new asshole. Because this has one of the most insane weapon power levels I've ever seen in a hack. And it's also not a very difficult hack, all things considered. Like, the boss fights are hard, but also there's easier fights and there's harder fights. And the fights in this game. It does probably have the easiest fights of any Tatsu hack. I haven't really played many of the other ones. I've done a couple of the fights in Unique Harassment, but that's it. And I haven't been good enough to do any ONN or Basic Match 1.0 fights. But, like, I do think these are probably the easiest Tatsu hack fights. Even though they are, like, by no means easy. These are all still probably... Like, they're like, not all of them are harder than vanilla fights, but, like, they all have more moving parts than most vanilla fights. But there are definitely vanilla fights that are harder than the fights in this game. Like, if they just dropped vanilla Mega Man 3 Shadow into this game, even with a slide, I still think that would be the hardest fight of the game. Or not hardest fight of the game, I don't know if that would be harder than Lightning Machine, but it would definitely be the hardest Robot Master fight. To Buster only, at least. That's like the hang-up I have with, like, is this harder than Mega Man 3 no-hit, and by proxy the new hardest classic Mega no-hit. I don't know how much weapon strats, like, mitigate the difficulty of the insane parts of 3. I do plan to go for 3 at some point. Both because I want to have a Classic Series sweep, and because I want to know if this is harder than BM 1.2. Or if this is harder than Mega Man 3. Because I haven't made that mistake in a bit. I do want to, like, have an informed opinion on that, instead of just, like, logicking it out. Because every time I try and logic it out, I logic it out in a different way, and I come to a different conclusion, depending on how the BM 1.2 grind is going. Clearly the way I go about this is I just make a save state for Doc Quick, and I just, like, I fire it up for funsies. I haven't played Vanilla 3 in fucking ages. I do think the search snake lag strats is kind of a big, like, how much that affects things is going to be the decider of if I think 3 is harder than being 1.2 Buster only. Like, depending on how much that mitigates the difficulty of Doc Quick, that will, like, determine which I consider harder. And by proxy, whether or not this is, like, the hardest single segment of Mega Man no-hit. Because I do think it's, like, pretty unquestionably 3 at the moment. Out of the things that are, like, for sure, 100% verifiably single segment runs. You gotta like filter out a lot of like places and passes and whatnot, just for stuff that we are 100% sure has happened single segments. I think it's probably Mega Man 3 for the time being, and I can see being 1.2 Buster only being harder than it, but I can also see it being easier than it. This is definitely like more of a skill test, or not, or like more of the difficulty is testing your skill more so. Like, Buster Only also forces you to engage with the fights. Like, it forces you to engage with every fight in the game to the fullest extent. And get, like, a deep understanding of them. I might do, like, 1 or 2 more attempts tonight. Like, in my personal difficulty system, I would give this a low 8. And my current hardest accomplishment in a video game is Mega Man 1, like, no-hit glitchless, which I gave a mid-6. For record, the floor, for context, the floor that I am predicting for, I am predicting that the floor for, what's up? I'm predicting the minus infinity floor is, a 10. I don't see minus infinity being any lower than a 10. Even if weapons completely, like, break the game in half sometimes, including some bosses, you still have to do Super Shadow with nerds and play the stages. And, like, especially if I go for hard mode, that's just gonna be a whole thing. That was a weird ass slide. Also, another thing that's like making me like unsure of like how this would compare to Mega Man 3 is like this is there's like very few like luck checky bits in this. Like, Mega Man 3 has a lot of luck checks. Dock Quick is a luck check, namely. And even some of the other dock sites are, like, very inconsistent and have, like, things they can do where you basically just have to, like, pray they don't do them. Like, I think a certain starting pattern for Sparkman is, like, very bad. Like, you kind of just, like, eat shit if you get it. And then there's, like, Dock Air with, like, the one pattern that's, like, basically undodgeable. It might actually flat out be undodgeable in this game. Because I know in vanilla, I know in 2 it's not undodgeable. Because I have a clip of me trying to learn the item 1 strat for that fight. I fail it, and then I just, like, do the jump that I need to do to get over it normally. I think that's my most viewed clip from, like, however many years ago. It's like going on 3 at this point, because that was summer of 23. That was going for that game. I feel like I feel like when I like go for 3, it's either gonna like change my opinion on the game into, oh, this actually isn't that bad, or this is literally bottom 1 Mega Man. That's like the only way that's gonna play out. Because honestly, I have 3 as the second worst game in the series, behind Dan Base. So I wonder what no-hitting it is going to be like. Admittedly, I haven't played it casually in a minute, but I remember not fucking with that game at all the last time I played it. Like, actively considering it a bad game, which I don't for, like, almost any other Mega Man game. Like, the only other game I feel like I would slot in that territory is and base. I feel like I'm going to be more charitable to join base, though. What even... I do want to, like, replay all the games casually, like, in prep for Dual Override release. I'll probably do that off-stream. I'll probably do that off-stream where I just play it through every Mega Man game. Not classic, specifically, just, like... Honestly, maybe that'd include Battle Network, because I've never tapped into Battle Network for Star Force. I feel like I'd fuck with them. But, like, the only Mega Man games I finished start to back that aren't classic are X1 and X2, and I've dabbled in X3 and 01. Like, I haven't played a lot of them in a fat minute. The only ones I remember having played in the past, like, year or so are like 2 and 6. Maybe I had, like, a cheeky 11 session somewhere. The thing is for Mega Man, it's not like it's a series I like. I like it more as a series than I like any individual game. Like greater than the sum of its parts type shit. I think both of these songs are on the lock-in playlist, so. Backed it up at least. I should probably climb the ladder the second I see the ball coming out. I wonder how fast I could beat this game with speed strats. Or not even speed strats necessarily, just like not trying to do stuff that will never get me hit strats. I really gotta listen to more Billy Woods. I've only heard of this album and We Might Not Have Had Guitar Strips with as part of Arm Hammer. I did also hear Lucid's solo album from 24 though. Probably later, I think it was called. Yeah, Revelator. Or like something like that. I heard his album from last year is like really, really, really good. Like Billy Woods' I can't say the name of it, but I've heard it's a very, like, among his best work. I was gonna listen to it when it came out, but I heard that it was, like, extremely heavy, and it came out when I was, like, trying to focus on exams. So I wasn't really in the mood to be listening to a super heavy album when I'm trying to study for, like, fucking AP Lang or whatever. So I just put it on hold. To listen to when... Yeah. And I just never did. Same thing with Twin Peaks, actually. Or not exact same thing, but, like... I was started watching Twin Peaks in, like, April of last year. I got to, like, season 2, episode 4 or 5? And then I was like, oh, it's close to when AP exams are happening. I should probably put this on hold so that I can focus on my AP exams. I have watched one episode of Twin Peaks since April of 2025. And that was in, like, July. To be fair, I just haven't been, like, a watching or reading anything mood lately. Trying to play my games. I think the thing with reading is that I need to, like, carve out... They feel like things I need to, like, carve out time that I'm not spending on, fucking... Like, one of my goals for 2026 was, like, engage with more meaningful shit, which is, like, less YouTube and Twitch. But, like, fucking everything I could ever want to watch has been happening on Twitch lately. Like in Celeste and other challenge games. So I've still been, like, a Twitch no-lifer for 2026 so far. There was a bit in a Rusty Buckets video that I saw, like, a couple weeks back. There was a bit in a Rusty Buckets video I saw a couple weeks back, like, his Q&A, where he was, like, because he, like, has to watch so many games, like, for, by, like, virtue of, like, doing NBA coverage, he's, like, one of the things that he doesn't like about that is that it means that he doesn't have as much time to watch movies and whatnot as he would like. And that's kind of just the vibe. That's kind of just how it is when you're extremely invested in a community that's, like, in, like, a challenge gaming community. As I am with not even just Celeste. I'm just invested in challenge gaming as a whole. Like, being so invested in that kind of eats away at your ability to do a lot else. Not even just, like, by virtue of, like, doing the grind yourself, but also just, like, caring enough to watch other people do grinds and whatnot. And, like, I'm not... If there was, like, 48 hours in a day, I wouldn't care about this. But because there's, like, not that much time in a day, it's kind of just, like, I wish I had more time to pay attention to other shit I care about. Even though this is the thing I care the most about, probably. I think I just go in and out of phases of wanting to engage with shit, and in and out of phases of wanting to just go challenge gaming, hyperfixation, indulging, or not even hyperfixation. It is actively just a special interest to me, for me, and probably one of my strongest ones. It's probably been the strongest one for the last, like, year or two. I haven't been linguistics autisming as much lately. Like the past year or two, I haven't really. Which is kind of bad, because I do still care a lot about linguistics, I just haven't been interfacing with it as much lately. Partially because a lot of my interfacing with it came from YouTube. Not that I wasn't looking at it outside of that. Like, a lot of my favorite linguistics YouTubers haven't been uploading as much lately, or in one case they kind of just turned out to be a bit it kind of turned out to, like, suck a bit. So, you know, and, like, it's not like I'm only interfacing with it through YouTube, but, like, YouTube is, like, a good jumping off point for stuff that, like, will end up piquing your interest. Alright, good night, thanks for good luck. But, like, YouTube is a good jumping off point for stuff like that, because it, like, helps pique your interest on stuff. Hi, Two Gold Blood. Thanks for the good luck outside. Today's kind of been a bit of a baller session, honestly. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Also, this is like a weird good session because it's like, I am getting good attempts, but this is like the least I have cared about getting attempts this far into the game, like nerves-wise. I got like my 4th furthest thing ever, and then I just like didn't care about it. Like I was only above resting in like a 20-minute run of this one time, and it was because I was like yelling about having to hear like shitty pop songs from like 10 years ago in public now. I know nothing about this game. I think literally one person who has ever joined my stream has known anything about this game. It is like almost entirely like friends and Celeste community people who just like know me and just like care about this because I care about it. But the long and short of it is this is a Mega Man 2 hack, and I'm trying to like beat the entire thing in one sitting beat the entire thing without getting hit or swapping off the default weapon. Flash for background goes hard. Thank you. Big Utsuho Reuji fan. Big fan. Big fan. Also about the thing I'm doing, no one has, like, done what I'm going for before, and I don't even think anybody's, like, no-hit a ROM hack in a single sitting before, or, like, in, like, a single segment, not, like, splicing it. So I'm, like, kind of in, like, uncharted territory right now. I've been going for this since, November, and, I've put almost 70 hours into it, I think. That sounds about right. I haven't checked hour counter in a bit. Yeah, I can cook. I'm within one boss fight of having a 2 segment on this. The funny thing is that the first segment of that is up until, like... The funny thing is, the first segment is, like, the first 10 stages of the game, and then getting hit on the boss of the 11th stage, and then the second segment is, I forgot what you have to do here. The second segment is the last 3 stages of the game. The last segment is, like, arguably and probably harder than the first segment. I was talking about this earlier, but there's a non-zero chance this ends up being the hardest, There's not, like, a dedicated community to this, necessarily, but this might end up being... Oh, hi, Ivy. There's not, like, a dedicated community to this, but this might end up just being, like, the hardest, like, Mega Man no-hit that, like, is verifiably single segment, like, it's in a splice or a task. I haven't played Mega Man 3 enough to be able to tell if this is harder than it. But it could be. So, like, get back to me in, like, a year or so and I'll have a definitive answer, probably. Actually, that's good. Greed is like one of the best attacks to get at the very last one because it's the easiest to dodge when you don't have to like play it off, like play anything after it. Is 11? 11 is solid, honestly. Also, that's more experience than most people who have been watching my stream have. There's been some people who have been watching, like, to have watched, like, hours and hours of me playing this and didn't even know that you could swap weapons. Like, I've only been playing Buster only, and they just didn't know you had other weapons. In Celeste terms, that's like watching someone grind Dashless Plus and, like, not knowing that the game has dashing. It is, like, a very funny situation to be in. Yeah, the CP is really good. Or something like that. Yeah. I think literally, like, one person who has ever watched my stream has known what's going on in this hack. I'm gonna make a strat video explaining everything, or like do a stream for it, after I get it. That's probably gonna be my first stream on the new account when I make it. Yeah. Is this in this playlist? I think it's only if I went for affiliate that would cause the issue. But, like, I want to get affiliate. So, like, yeah. If I, like, keep it on the low, I think it would be fine, but, like, because you have to do the attack stuff for affiliate, you cannot keep it on the low. And I'm gonna keep this account for like, watching streams, probably, just so that I still have channel points. It doesn't matter how long ago it was. It's the issue is like on account creation and like if they find out, they're like willing to ban you like no matter how long ago it was. Lively entry, by the way. I'm gonna swap to the lock-in playlist. Hold on. Okay. Yep. Hi, Rob. You just... I'm on a lively entry right now, so good timing. Alright. Nice. I've been playing really good today, honestly. First room on this is scary. I think that was the last... I think that was where I got hit last time I got to Wilder. Alright. Oh, obsessive on that. Flip. Okay, rounder fight. Don't get any wires crossed. Oh. God, why is rounder so much harder from the start? I don't know why. I failed it twice just to, like... Not even, like, panicking, just, like... Seeing something and, like, doing a weird response that I would never do in practice. I'll put in the stats for that Wily entry. Hold on. I think I'll do, like, one more attempt after that. Because it's kind of late, but... Yeah. I mean, a Wily entry is good, I just kind of am... I'm kind of tired of... like, weird rounder situations happening. I think 3 out of 4 of my Wily entries have happened past midnight. That's really funny. And then how many hours am I at right now? 18... 38.6... Save open. Practice. 48, 43, 19. At 67 hours right now. I think I'll practice rounder a bit and then go back. I've learned a lot of, like, nuances about this hack that I didn't think I was gonna like, get my hands on, or, like, wrap my head around when I went into this. A lot of, like, tiny optimizations to, like, be able to do every fight as consistently as possible. Like, I think I only learned the way I deal with the fire attack a couple days ago. Like, this is what I want to be doing on bubble. I just want to, like, go down there, not, go back up. The only attack I want to go back up for is electricity. Every other one I want to stay on the ground floor, rather than on the platform. I realized a couple streams ago that for the fire attack, you can just, like, stand in the area where the bottom rounder isn't, and you're just, like, it makes dodging fire way more consistent and way easier. Oh, I don't have the practice timer going. Like, get on the platform before they teleport back. And, basically it just makes fire a non-issue. Now, honestly, the hardest fight, the hardest attack in the fight for me is kind of bubble, but only when I'm not practicing. When I'm practicing, this entire fight is, like, not hard at all. And then when I'm doing it from somewhere, I have to have, like, a guinea pig death before it goes back to being how easy it is in practice. That happens when I'm playing, like, Full Fortress as well. I need, like, 1 or 2 attempts to die to it before I can actually get past it. Which is frustrating because I'm extremely consistent at it in practice ever since I implemented that new fire strategy, and yet I just constantly, like, brain fart on it. When I'm trying to, like, get anywhere. Like, I should probably have a Wily 4 entry by now. Like, I'm fine with the first room death. I'm just more annoyed at a rounder death than a first room death on Wily 1. I'll try to get out of early game, like, one more time, and then I'll call it a night. I said this already, but I am very much looking forward to the Strat explanation stream. Just because it's gonna be like a complete opportunity to just like ramble my ass off about all of the nuances and strats that I've learned for this. And like on the off chance that like anybody else wants to go for this. Which I don't think anybody is gonna want to go for it for a while. This is just like something that like called out to me specifically. I forgot I still have the walk-in pedestal on. I'll keep it on because I do want to, like, get another good attempt. Alright. I wonder what this grind would have been like if I just decided to use in-game music the entire time instead of just having my own playlist. Like, this is a good hack soundtrack, but there's only so much you can listen to, like, Mega Man hack music before, you know, you kind of go insane. I just get very tired of, like, in-game music and grinds, I think. I think the turning point for me here was when I was trying to do Blade Stage initially. And I was just like, I can't take this. I cannot take this. I'm still sad that 1.1 replaced Wily 5 theme. Rounder and Porygon might be the two most important fights to practice at this point. Just so that, like, I am getting very, very consistent at early game. But I still don't have a Wily 4 entry, which is a bit frustrating by this point. So I do think just, like, spamming practice on those fights might benefit me a bit. It sucks because I feel confident on those fights. It's just a weird, like... It's weird in the moment stuff that's causing me to make those mistakes. Like I said, it's just wires getting crossed. I wish I could just consistently do that fight without needing guinea pig deaths before it to... like, get over myself, but... maybe that's just the way it's gonna play out. I think it's just how fragmented it all is. Every attack in that fight is very self-contained. They don't really, like, influence the others almost at all. I don't even know what I did differently. Like one more, maybe. If I got the blade, I would have called it there, but Tornado is like a weird stage to reset to at this point, for like a last attempt of the day thing. Yup. How? I think I've been listening to them for like 4 or 5 years at this point. The funniest thing is that like I tapped into them because of fucking like Eterna. There was just like a chart of 24-hour drive-thru and Mini Fresh Pack 4, and I was like, this song kind of goes crazy. And then Eddie, who is like the reason I got into 4K, just made a video that was like, yeah, their first album goes crazy. I wasn't as huge on their last album. I could like respect what it was doing, I just wasn't fucking with it. Honestly, I think the song they made for the Pichao Run and Bun video is better than like 80% of their last album. Like, not even joking, I think that's just better than most of the last album. Yeah, they did a, for the video, like the 3-hour Pichao video of his, like, journey, Nuzlocking Run and Bun. He just got Origami Angels to do, like, a custom intro song, and it's genuinely better than most of, their 2024 album. That is also, like, in the running for the best, like, video about a video game on the entire platform. Honestly, Pichao is like one of my biggest inspirations for this, because he was also in like in a similar situation I was when he was starting out, where like very good at like a niche, like it's something that people are aware of, at least. Like people are aware of Nuzlocke, people are aware of like who like play Mega Man are aware of like no damage runs, but like not in the specific way that he was doing it. Like actively trying to like play Nuzlocke as optimally as possible was not really a known thing before Pichao took off. It was like a very niche community going for it at the time. Actually trying to Nuzlocke shit like Blue Kaiser back in the day. So like now that I'm like kind of doing the same thing with Mega Man, because like I've said this before, but like I'm basically the only one going for shit like this. in ROM hacks anyway. And, like, if you extend it to, like, ROM hacks plus fan games, it's not that many more. So I'm kind of just, like, figuring out all this shit by myself with, like, a couple of videos worth of guidance, maybe. And, like, I want other people to, like, get into this. Like, I want to see this game. I want to see Mega Man's skill ceiling get hit. Because it is extremely high, and we are not even slightly close to it. We're not close to the skill ceiling of, like, most hard games? But, like, Mega Man, we are, like, much further from the ceiling, I think. Yeah. There was a Chinese player who hit Mega Man Unlimited. But that's a fan game, not a ROM hack, and that's also the only, like... That's, like, the only, like, big-name fan game that's gotten a no-damage run, I think. Yeah. It's just not a very, like, hacks are already a very niche thing, but challenge running hacks is, like, a niche within a niche sort of thing. You have to be, like, a specific kind of person to want to go for it. Like, actually doing the whole thing in one sitting, rather than, like, segmented. Segmented of harder hacks could be fun. I've thought of a thing where, like, I give myself a week with a certain hack, and I try to see how, like, what, like, notable things I can do in that week. I'm playing Stone horribly right now. If I don't get past Stone before attempt 170, I'll just end Sesh. Also, like, it's harder to like, push the skill ceiling for Mega Man, just because there's, like, so much, like, the nature of, like, how Mega Man is difficult is, like, harder to push, because there's, like, so much stuff dependent on, like, the RNG you get for a fight, or, like, optimizing routing and whatnot, to, like, basically make the game as smooth of sailing as possible. It's just kind of a weird game to try and, like, push. Like, there's a lot more moving parts than in most games people try to push the skill ceiling of. I'm eyeing up other hacks after this, but, like, I'm not sure what I would go for if I want to, like, up my skill level, necessarily. Because, like, hacks that are, stuff that's, like, hard to just beat, and stuff that's hard to do no damage aren't always the same. Also, there's the element of, like, Mega Man games give you a lot of options, so it's possible to, just, like, bypass a lot of the difficulty if you want to? Like, if I was playing a hack with a weapon that just gives you full body invincibility, I could just, like, pop the weapon that gives you full body invincibility as much as possible. But I wouldn't want to do that, because that's kind of, like, undermining what I actually get out of doing runs like this. Even if it is, like, still nominally a no-damage run. Yeah. And also, it, like, depends on the game's weapon power level as well. I was considering, like, going for this with weapons at some point, but then I realized I was just like, the power level for weapons in this game is too high for that to really feel like I'm getting much out of it. But, like, if I was going for, like, unique harassment or something, you bet your ass I would be using weapons for that. And also even other games where it's like... Yeah, with weapons this is like... way easier. Yeah. I was just like saying a game like off the top of my head with like a high weapon power level. But I feel like there's also a difference between, like, a weapon that, like, gives you iframes as, like, as a perk of what it is. Like, I think Lightning Bolt and Base does that. Where it's a screen clear, but it also gives you iframes. And then a weapon where the entire point isn't giving you iframes. Like Turbo Man's weapon in, EP. Those feel like different things in my mind. But it also would just be like it would just be like, would I find this fun to go for? If I was just using a weapon that gave me iframes. No. I know some people who, like, go for no damage runs of the X games explicitly, like, ban weapons that give full body iframes. Yeah, charge Chameleon's thing. Like, a friend of mine was talking about this a couple of years ago. Like, when you're doing a hard thing in a game, it's not always necessarily that, like, it's not always necessarily what the end goal is that you get attached to, but you also get attached to what you have to do to get to that end goal. Oh, your computer. Like, in this, I'm not necessarily attached to just doing BM 1.2 without getting it. I'm also attached to what I have to do for, like, the specific way that I'm going about it. Like, if I could just, like, sidestep the difficulty of the last couple stages, I'd, like... Sure, it would, like, still, in theory, be the same thing, but, like, I wouldn't feel the same way about it. So that's probably what I would do for, like... That's probably why I would, like, not use, like, full-body iframe weapons. Alright, I think that's a good spot to call it for tonight. Let's get the point. Good session. That rounder mistake was kind of frustrating, and then after that I wasn't able to get back, but before that, really good. I can't really be too mad. Also, for my first session coming back from a break, a Wily entry already is a good sign. Alright. Alright. And I'll see if there's anybody, to use. Is there, like, anything right now, or do I just... I'll check through. You too. Yeah, it doesn't look like much is happening right now, so I'll probably just stand. Good session. Hopefully I can get over the rounder issues I've been having lately. Oh, I never updated the best today after I got a Wily entry. I'm only just now noticing that, but like, good session. Wish I could have gotten more out of that Wily entry, but I'm still at a point where I can't really be that mad.